Hello, everyone. I'm Kevin Kelly. He's Paul Gerard. Thanks so much for listening. We are Gerard and Associates. This is the G&A Way podcast. Paul, it's great to be with you. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Kevin. Doing well.
So, cases in the news. It really appears that, and we've talked about it, that our EMS providers are seemingly at wit's end. Stress, the fatigue, being up all night, not getting off your shift on time, the collateral issues that go along with working in an EMS organization, our own mental health issues with stress and anxiety. I got to think that an incentive program may be of some benefit to take the edge off, give us something. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that this is a concept that's time has come. It is time for us to begin showing our employees, our staff members, our providers that we love them. We're coming off of a COVID epidemic where we have burned out our providers. Providers have gotten sick and can't work any longer if they're long haulers. They were under the unbearable stress, especially early on, of not knowing whether being in close contact and proximity to these patients was going to cause them to get sick and have them end up in a hospital or die. So as a result of that, in addition to other societal pressures, it's very difficult to find employees and to retain employees. So the concept of showing our staff members that their efforts are appreciated, that has to happen. I was reading an article in the paper the other day, well, online, not really in the paper. That's because I'm old, so I say the reference the paper thing. But online, that's talking about the younger generation, today's generation, millennials in particular, but younger generation folks, that they require of their employers that their employers show that they care about them. So beyond EMS, everybody's having a hard time hiring high quality people, right? In every industry, pretty much. And what companies are finding is that employees are, if they work for an employer and they find within a few short weeks or months that employer doesn't seem to show them the love they deserve, they move on to another company. They just move on. And I think that that's probably a true statement everywhere, including EMS. So if you want to keep your valued employees, then you have to do something to recognize them. Some of that is financial, right? Financial incentives, bonuses, and extra pay, issues and that sort of thing. But in many cases, it's not financial. It's people want to be recognized for the difficult situations we're in. Your employees that are left to haul the workload, they're doing it in an understaffed agency where they're working double, triple shifts. They're doing, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100% more call volume than what they did previously due to staff shortages. Those people are burning out. So you've got to do something to recognize them and to take the pressure off them. So incentive programs are a piece of that.
Thinking, reading these, we see them every day. The Massachusetts ambulance industry, and they're hiring, and we've seen an incredible bump in the base rate of paramedics. I think it's up $20 to $30. But I got to say, I think there's a tremendous missed opportunity to reevaluate the way we pay EMS providers, and maybe that base rate of $30 an hour is fair. And you get some money if you based on your longevity. You may get some additional money if you have a college degree. But I think the time has come that we need in EMS a healthy base rate, but we also need to build in some additional monetary incentives. Whether it's like a sports contract, but based on the numbers. Based on the numbers that the CEO sets for quality initiatives, or the medical director, based on NAEMS QA indicators, something. But the time has come where we need a healthy base rate, but you need to start paying people who are your your high quality, your high quality performers, your high quality customer service performers. Those folks need incentives, and the folks that are not towing the line, they got to be coached up, incentivized, or coached out. Paul.
Yeah, I completely agree. There was an advertisement online on LinkedIn from a local EMS agency. It's a good sized agency, and they were advertising $18 an hour for EMTs and $28 an hour for paramedics. But you can go to Target and make $17 an hour, without having to go out in the cold and the rain and the snow, put up with contagiously sick people and violent people and people with behavioral problems and all the stuff that EMS providers have to do. And it doesn't require any training, right? You just waltz in there and get a job versus all the time and effort it took for providers to go and get their EMT or paramedic certification. So there's something wrong here when we're paying our EMS providers at a similar level to other jobs that, while they're valuable jobs and need to be done, don't require the amount of intensity that being an EMS provider requires. So we just have to get over that hump. Now, the problem is that's easy to say, hard to do. If you're a manager of an EMS system and budgets are tight, everybody's tight on the money thing, costs are going up everywhere. You're paying tons of overtime just to staff the trucks, and so you're already paying out all sorts of money. It's really hard to say, well, just give everybody a raise and get them to a better salary level. So that's maybe where incentives can come in, right? So it doesn't have to cost you as much, but you recognize and acknowledge the valuable work people are doing. It's not always about the money, and it might be a lot cheaper to invest in an incentive program as opposed to just across the board giving everybody raises, which, quite frankly, gets some folks who don't deserve to be paid at a higher level to the same point as the folks who do deserve to be paid at a higher level. So, just doing across the board raises might not be the only thing that should or could be done. You could also do some selective stuff with some of the incentive things.
Yeah, I don't buy the Target argument. I don't think that that's going to work. Certainly not going to work for an adrenaline junkie who gets psychic energy from going out and helping people, and that's what a lot of we do. I mean, it's a calling, a vocation versus an avocation. But you are right. I bet at Target, if you meet certain customer service expectations, you probably get a bonus at Target. But in EMS, we haven't adopted that methodology yet. But I don't think I don't think true EMS providers, the dirt dogs, I don't think they're giving up EMS to go to Target for the same amount of money. But
well, so the Target thing, okay, that might be an extreme, but paramedics are getting out of the streets and going to work in doctors' offices and clinics and other areas where they don't have to do all that street stuff and deal with some of the stressors and working all these hours and shifts trying to fill shifts and whatnot. I know one firefighter has been an EMT and a firefighter for years. He just left the profession to go start a pot shop with his brother. So they own a cannabis, dispensary or growth farm or something. But he said, "Hey, I've had enough of this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to go sell cannabis." So okay, so maybe the Target thing might be extreme for the adrenaline junkie stuff, but the point is that people are either leaving EMS for other jobs or going to other jobs in healthcare that don't have the same risks and lack of rewards. So if you're going to put all that effort in, you can go to nursing school, PA school, nurse practitioner school, medical school, and get paid a whole lot more money and not be out at 2 a.m. in the cold and the rain under a car. So, so there's the point is that you've got to, if you want to keep people in the field, and we're having a hard time doing that right now.
That's right.
There's a shortage going on. If you want to keep people motivated and you want to keep them coming in the door and you want to keep your service running, and not just running with anybody that I need to fill a position, right? So you want high quality. So if you take this shortage that we have ongoing and then say, well, I'm trying to run a high quality service here, so I'm not just going to hire anybody out the door, that pool of candidates is even slimmer.
Yeah, Attorney Doug Wolfberg, he mentioned it. He wrote an article for GEMS, Crisis of Competency. That's where we're heading. Our last podcast we talked about the Springfield, Illinois incident being the canary in the coal mine. Since then, there's been a few other high-profile incidents that's not painting us in a good light. Fortunately, we seem to have a decent emotional bank account with the public, but that's being withdrawn. That's a shame. The right people, and you're right, we got to get the right people into EMS. The people who want to be in EMS for the right reasons, not as a stepping stone, but as a career. And frankly, right now, I don't think there's a better time to be in EMS. There's all sorts of opportunities available to high quality performers, whether it's the 911, whether it is the critical care, the mobile intensive health program. It's an amazing time for the right provider and frankly the right organization to help develop that right provider using data and teaching and coaching up. Great opportunity to be in MS right now, I think. So if folks want to learn more about incentives, the CQI program, what Girard and Associates is all about, how do they reach us?
They can go to our website, girardassociate.com, or they can email us directly. I'm paul.girard, Girard, at girardassociate.com. You're kevin.kelly, Kelley, at girardassociate.com. And we'd be happy to talk to you about it and maybe give you some ideas and whatnot, not just on this, but if you have questions about your QA program and want to get some feedback in terms of things that you might be able to do to improve the program that you're running in your service, or the services we offer, we'd be happy to talk to you about them.
All right. Well, he's Paul Girard. I'm Kevin Kelly. Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. Have a great day. We'll catch you soon.